Okay. Um. So yeah, my stream was literally lagging a little bit. Like it's a 10-second delay. Um. So for the most part, if something happened 10 seconds before, then it actually has happened 10 seconds before. Um. Okay. So basically, he's wondering what happened. Yeah. Uh. Basically, yeah, I don't know what the heck happened, but that hasn't haven't happened before. To be completely honest. Um, so I have 407k. Um, oh, excuse me. Hmm. 2022 edition. Oh, okay, that's cool. Okay, so looks like the only thing that's the only color you can get for the 722. Um, MGGT. Hmm. Huh. Okay. Um. Well, let's actually need to yeah, have I bought the Surgeon Viper yet? Because okay, that's the fourth gen. Okay, there's the third gen. 286k. That's not bad, even though it's a Dodge Viper, and a lot of people be like, "Why'd you buy a Dodge Viper?" Simple, because I like nostalgia. I like nostalgia. That's why I'm playing that. Nostalgia usually beats most things. Hopefully. um. Hmm. Uh, you know what? I can buy a Viper any other day. But what I actually want to buy is this: the Mercedes SR McLaren 722 edition. Now, this is a legit car. That's basically what it is. Um, silver. Well, this is the only color you can actually get this car in. Not in black apparently, which is a really weird case. But if I'm going to be buying a 722, I need to get the wheels for it. So this is 722 wheels, and I legit spend over 360k on something. What the heck? That was weird. All right. This car sounds good. I don't know what it is. Now, here's a fun fact. Uh, this car, believe it or not, was in a lot of racing games around the 2000s, which that will include games such as the older Need for Speed games, such as Pro Street, Carbon, let's see, Most Wanted, Carbon, Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, and I think that's about it. And then there are other games such as do you believe Midnight Club has this car? Like I think Midnight Club 3 has this car. Um, what else is there? Midnight Club. Um, ay, ay, ay. I think it was in Test Drive. If I remember correctly, I think it was in Test Drive Limited 1 and 2. Um, but I think the second game actually had what the heck is that? Um, okay, let me just take a look at the parts. Okay, that looks pretty clean so far. Um, Canards. Oh dear lord, no. Okay. Um, I do like my stock stuff, but then again, nothing wrong with having a carbon fiber part of the bumper to go with the splitter. Um, I mentioned it actually blocks out the lights, front fenders. Okay, actually hmm, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, not something I don't want to do to this car. Um, although although the carbon fins are nice, it actually replaces the exhaust. So I'm not gonna do that. Wheels gonna keep the same. Um, Mirrors, carbon fiber mirrors. I do believe that's an option for this car when the car was released. I don't know. Um, okay, this is something that actually bothered me because the front the front fenders, it just changes the fins and the exhaust. But when it comes to the rear fenders, it actually puts an entirely new arch. That's basically on the car. Rear wing, I am not gonna ruin this car's value. Even though driving it just actually there's literally value goes down the drain. Oh, actually, I don't mind the lights. Okay. Um. Hmm. Wait. That one's regular. That one's tinted. What? Okay. Um. Oh, okay. So it blacks out the silver part of the tail lights. Um. Hmm. Oh no. Oh god. Okay. At least it's not like the last game where very oh, you can't change the interior. Okay, it's probably the best thing they can actually do without not ruining this car specifically. But what I actually am going to do is put window tints, and that's probably about it. Um, everything else, I'm keeping the way it is. Um, unless I want to black it out, of course, which I could. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Um. Okay. Um. Okay, so that's basically what it is. And then, oh boy, I can already tell what bumper is which due to the diffuser logo on the car. The car that actually won some awards too. Oh, great. It's red bumper. Fan-sticking-tastic. Okay, I'm guessing this is new because I already know like this is like the Diablo parts on, which absolutely makes no sense. But it's a just car. It's supposed to go legit crazy. do literally crazy things to it that actually stand out the most. Okay. Let me just put the performance on so that way it can actually be at least decently, well, not decently competitive because I don't do PvP nor going after leaderboards, but this is just in case that I actually want to be at least decently fast to actually beat AI than normal because, well, I have a lot of ace difficulty stuff to do, so there's that. Alright. Oh crap, I believe about the Ford Mustang. There we go. There. Now it's completed. Alright.
The racers are approaching their vehicles. We should be starting any minute now.
Okay, I literally just thought about this. I think the only difference between the original version and the 722 version is that the car has a lot of handling parts redone and basically had lighter wheels and I think only came in this specific color. I think that's about it. Um, Maybe that's what usually on the 722. I'm pretty sure we know that it doesn't stand for 722 horsepower because, I mean, then again, it wouldn't make sense if the reason why it's called 722 is because of how much power it makes. Ay, ay. What the? Okay, at least I'm being a good driver and not hit people at least. Hmm. Okay, speaking of which, okay, so it is an Alpha Grand Prix type of race. Alright. Um, so yeah, here we go. Now, believe it or not, the cars, when it comes to the maxed out vehicles, usually they go for like your fastest car.
Stage number 3 of
Usually
the
that
US Speed
usually
Series.
usually
Leaving Miami
that's how it
for
happens.
Dallas, Texas.
Now, like I said, I'm not a professional in this game. Like I barely play this game to uh, actually know that for the most part, I actually want to get the most of the stuff out of the way, so that way I can actually do what I need to do. for the most part, this is literally a time attack that um, usually I like my time attacks. I usually like it when I race against people for time in terms of precision. But what I don't like is time trials. I think that will kind of plagues most of the stuff that I actually want to talk about. Also, I didn't get to finish the racing cliche that I'm talking about, which is basically shortcuts. The pros of adding shortcuts to the game is one of many uh, is that you can actually set how many shortcuts you want in the game as long as it's usable. If it's not usable, that means it's a useless shortcut. Like for example, on the New York race, um, and I'm talking about the proper way to, well, or what first time, not well, almost basically drivers like me that know what they're doing. They usually will take the outer route, basically the opposite, usually the opposite lane that actually has an off ramp going through the same lane as anyone else. While yeah, the AI literally literally using that loop, you'll be able to use the off ramp. Or you like any other player that actually has that needs some seconds off their time, then they will literally off road to the top and actually hit the checkpoint there. Um, but yeah, nonetheless, it's a case where it actually gave you some stuff when a lot of things kind of happened. Uh, Now the cons on your hand is basically you can't tell which is a shortcut and which one is not. And this is actually a really good example. Midnight Club LA has a lot of shortcuts. And I really do mean it has a lot of shortcuts. Unfortunately, most of those shortcuts, we don't know which one is which. Heck, heck, there are many times where it may take us to different locations. It either give us, uh, so most likely it's either or. They actually either give you something that you can actually work towards in order to actually maintain a shortcut, or actually it's a different breed entirely, and it may take you to the wrong side of the track. All right. Uh, so yeah, that's today's racing cliche, and
Well,
yeah.
our Cowboys are coming up to Dallas with its Texas Motorplex where speed was born. Who will win the stage?
Now, like I said, I am not a professional. Just using items? That makes absolutely no sense. Um, okay, I don't get why it actually have you like take stuff out and then is there Alright, Rallycross. Okay. Before doing anything else, let me head to the actual. Oh yeah, my controller drift is so bad. Ay, ay. No, no, no. Oh my god. Not. Jeez. Now, there you go. I mean, most of these are hypercar stuff, so. Okay. That should be enough to actually, so you get me through most of these things. But, that shouldn't be a problem at all. Um, but yeah, for the most part, I can't believe that my actual stream literally full on bugged out on me for God knows what reason. Um, let's see. Okay. Let's see. 162, 84. Well, shoot. Okay. Uh, okay. This is literally a throwaway vehicle that I'm not probably not gonna use. Um, ay, ay. Hmm. Okay. Not gonna lie, the actual frame rate is really horrendous. Like, how in the world? Okay. All right. Although it's not 280, 279 still works. All right. Now what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Um. So this time let's see. So up next is vehicle history, and I had not done a Korean car yet, so you might have to bear with me on this one. So today's vehicle history is one of those cases where the vehicle was so good that it actually got its own brand, along with two versions of the same car, the only difference being the engine and the size. This car is this car is by far popular amongst younger enthusiasts. So so they had a coupe version or the sedan version. This car actually have cars in the history cars in history of automaking history. So today I'm actually going to talk to you guys about the Hyundai Genesis and Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Alright, so where should I start? Let's talk about the original Genesis. The original Genesis is a four-door midsize sedan that actually is supposed to be the smaller. Let's see. It's supposed to be the smaller. I forgot what the smaller size sedan is called, but the bigger size, the full-size sedan is known as the E-Class, and the Genesis is actually midsize. So, anyways, the Genesis actually has three engine models. There is a 3.8 liter V6, and there was the 4.6 liter V8, which later down the line became a 5 liter V8 that's naturally aspirated. So think of it like the Jaguar F-Type or the Ford Mustang. Um, only difference is that it's extremely luxurious for a really good price. Now, on the other hand, you got the Genesis Coupe, which actually which actually came out right after the Genesis sedan. So the Genesis Coupe actually came with two engine models. There's a 2-liter 4-cylinder, and then there's a 3.8 liter V6, which, those do not know, it's kind of like the Koreans' answer to the GTR. Only the main difference is that one is Japanese, the other is Korean. So, mate, so 1,000 horsepower maybe? Don't know. But eventually those two actually end up getting a facelift around 2013, which is also the same year that a lot of cars are starting to get better. Like for example, um, the Honda Accord Coupe actually has gotten a facelift, which, in my opinion, is probably my favorite one of the many generations of Accords, which is the nice gen. Same thing goes with the Civics and many more. there's oh, and not to mention this also the same year that the FRS, as well as many other Scions, actually had started to become new again, along with the second gen Scion TC, as well as many others, um, as well as the new XB, the new IQ, and um, but yeah, for the most part, the rest of it is actually history. Um, so, let's see. What do I mean by the car was so good actually got its own brand? That's right. Genesis is no longer a name for the car. It's a revolutionary type perspective that a lot of people didn't realize. In fact, of all the vehicles that I've seen so far, I have been in a Genesis more than once. In fact, I've been in two versions of those. That being the Genesis and Genesis Coupe, i.e., I've been in the V6 model of the Genesis sedan, and I've been in the 2-liter version of the Coupe. And they're really, really nice looking cars to be sit in. And oh, you wonder about price? Just don't be, because it is by far the most luxurious car you can actually get for a really low price. And by low price, I mean we're talking $15,000 to $30,000. And if you're looking for a VA model, just try your best to actually get the lowest price for a 5-liter VA model, because if anything, that's gonna set back most of the stuff that you actually wanted to get. I think I'm gonna go with this one, but so yeah, let's see. In terms of the Genesis brand, they've yet to actually give us a Genesis coupe model for that specific brand. Now it's kind of like if if they give us Lexus, like what most people do, and Lexus decides to actually make coupes again, basically like the RCF for example. If not for the cool amount of variants of the Genesis that we end up getting throughout the entirety of its lifespan, we wouldn't got a Korean car that as good as the first car in the first place. Anyways, that's today's vehicle history. Pretty short one to be completely honest, because this is my first time talking about a Korean car for that matter. Um, anyways, hmm, let's see. You know what? I'm just gonna cruise around because I've done all I can in terms of the summit, but then again, oddly enough, I already have the Challenger, which is viable. Um, I'm thinking the other one is like spare parts, which I don't understand the point of them besides changing changing one of the perks of the part. And followers, actually that's not bad. Now, if I remember correctly, most people with now when it comes to like these um, now, this is why I don't get, okay? Like, let's say like the new Summit only just have a bunch of parts on it. Let's see, not a bunch of parts, but like they have like a, let's say it's your typical 150k followers for bronze. For silver, it's like either a parts pack or like a boosted pack. And then gold, it's like a special version of a tire or like a specific car that you can buy from the dealership. And then platinum is where it makes or breaks the summit. Like for example, let's say they actually want to get the vehicle, but they don't want to actually spend a lot of money on the vehicle that they want, and they don't want to grind the mess out of it. And so they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna be as is and just leave it alone. Then the next one, they actually have the platinum. They have a car for platinum. It's like, oh, it's a special version of such and such. Like, I know like the special versions of these cars are a lot faster, but in my opinion, I don't really see the point. Now, don't get me wrong. These special edition cars are one of the many cases of I will legit race for that specific car. Now, bear with me on this one, and this is actually my personal opinion. Um, it's true to the game. It's true to a good game. It depends because you have literally in terms of vehicle wise, yeah, over 450 cars. That's a lot. Well, not cars per se, but 450 vehicles, and we're talking not just cars, but we're talking boats and planes. So that's one of the cases. Now, you may or may not be missing out on a bunch of Summit cars, but hey, what can you do? Like, if this is your first time experiencing the crew games, then go for it. Like here's the thing. I'm not the type of person to review stuff. Like, for example, I don't do my own reviews. I really look at the reviews and see if it's good or not. But here's the thing. That's something that in your mind that is like you had to play for yourself to actually see if you like the game or not. In fact, the reason why many people literally go for reviews is so that it's kind of like a buyer beware for some reason. But but other than that, it actually is. Yeah, it's more recommended. Like I said, you have to play for yourself so that way you can actually see if you like it or not. But this is my opinion. I actually do like the card selection. Like it's one of those cases where they give you more stuff. Like, and although, in my opinion, like for many, and I mean for many reasons, that most of us will go really go with the game that actually has the most cards or the most stuff to actually do. Like it's one of those cases where they give us a lot of stuff to do. Hmm. Sorry, it's my stick drift. Um. Let's see. Okay, I am going to try this challenge where I had to win a speed tour challenge without using us. Oh, I have to do that 3 times. Oh, what the? Oh, god dang it. Thank you. Alright. But So yeah, I'll recommend just looking at some gameplay. If you like what you see, then buy it. If you don't like what you see, don't buy it. It will, like, it saves you,
Here
saves
comes
you
the
disappointment
USB Tour
of,
East,
oh my god.
Dallas, Texas, Queen City of the Southwest, the Big D.
Thank you for interrupting me, announcer. I'm trying to actually talk here. Anyways, um, like this is my recommendation. Just look at the gameplay. If you like what you see, buy it. If you don't like what you see, don't. My God, don't buy it. Sorry, I have stick drift, so that's the reason why my controller keeps looking left and not where I'm supposed to go. Oh, good. Alright. But above it all, it's like when people ask a lot of streamers like, "Oh, this game, oh, is this game any good?" And for the average streamer, like, "Oh yeah, it's definitely good." But for me, just to save them the disappointment, I'll be like, look at the gameplay. If you like what you see, buy it. If you don't like what you see, don't buy it. It's quite simple. Like, it's not hard to actually. It's not hard to think about because they look at, like, they literally. It's kind of like watching a movie. Like, like I will. It's like I will legit save most of my time just by looking at the movie to see if it's good or not, and and then the thing is like if I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like
Close
it.
to finishing. Who will leave their mark?
And actually, one without us. Well then, um, okay, that's one of three. I don't know why that person actually joined my crew if if I'm available, which excuse me. Um, let's see. Um, I don't feel like doing that one again because that one's pretty much really chaotic for the most part. Um, let's see, what vehicle are they gonna? I'm pretty sure they're gonna put me in my Iron 83. Yep. I see you staying. I got Michael's one. Right, if you can, yeah, cruise. I don't usually, um, usually. Although I like cruising around in cruise, but the thing is, I want to do my own stuff before I do anything else.
The U.S. Speed Tour East, around New York City, the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps.
That's gonna be a hard one. I know that for sure. usually they go for my favorites because, well, that's usually a thing. Like, it's the same thing with car X. Like, no one, see, not everyone's gonna like car X, but, and the reason is because, like, for the most part, they don't feel like being the burnt in ones. Like they look at their tunes, they try to make their own tune, and it's just like, okay, you do you, I'm gonna do me. Um, and it's not, I'm not trying to be rude, but it's one of those cases where they actually have, like, you got a lot of freedom that you can actually do to your vehicles. Like, you want to make a car to address car, make it to address car. If you want to actually make, if you actually want to make a grip car, go right ahead. Like, in all seriousness, like, I kid you not, I remember one time, in one of the live streams, like, one person literally commented to stop using 120, and for those wondering what 120 is, 120 is the rating of adhesion that's on the tire. And for those wondering what that looks like, it's quite simple really. It looks like a semi-slick tire. That's what it is. Uh, and I can't when I say this, like, I'm not trying to be like any other person, because if I want to use 120, I'll use 120. If I want to use 100, I'll use 100. If I want to use 90, I will use 90. Like, I usually don't want to take advice from people, but it is by far the most annoying thing I had to, like, hear most of the time. But then again, that's just me. Alright. So for the most part, I think the last thing I'm going to do is, in a nutshell, and Days in a Nutshell is a childhood game that I played since I was 9 years old. And what I want to talk about, I'm actually going to talk about, wait, no, actually, I think I was 10 when either 9 or 10 when I played this game since I was a kid. And that game is known for many people as their, as quote unquote the best Need for Speed game in the second era, other than second place being to Most Wanted. It is Need for Speed Underground 2. So strap in, because I have a lot to talk about this in terms of this game. Not the game I'm playing right now, but basically Need for Speed Underground 2. So yeah, the game actually came out around 2004. It had sold over 10 million copies, which, not gonna lie, that sounds like a lot, and I am not kidding when I say that. Um, so in the beginning of the, okay, so also there are spoiler warnings on Need for Speed Underground 2, so you don't want to stick around, don't stick around. Um, anyway, so let's see. All right. No, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So in the beginning, you're basically the not streaking, but you end up being a champion in Olympic City, and unfortunately for you, you end up having, let's say, you end up having a skyline, but let's say, fortunately, you end up with a skyline. The bad part about it is that during that time, you're on your way to the party, and it's like, okay, should I go with the party or should I go with the sponsorship? And he's taking no for an answer. And then you have a gut feeling that something's off about this offer. Then you go in, and then all of a sudden you see a big, or let's say a giant Hummer literally trash your car and leaves. And then you're wondering, what the heck just happened? My friend, you end up having a skyline that's been totaled. And you end up going to Bayview City, and in order to get a car, uh, well, the thing is, the insurance actually turned to go for the skyline, which is only enough to replace with one of those cars, which, what the heck? Turn the free drive. Oh, god dang it. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't do anything. Alright. No, what's I gonna say? Oh yeah. So
Three,
basically
two,
I end up with a
one.
basically only have enough to get replaced with one vehicle. And apparently in terms
The
of the
U.S. Speed
insurance
Tour
for the
East,
vehicle,
Miami,
I am legit
racing the
surprised that
streets of
it's
Florida's Magic
one of
City.
those I am legit surprised that it is that low of a cost for a Skyline. And for a bit of context, a new Nissan Skyline R34 GTR will have cost you around 70 grand. But in Japan, it's around 40 grand. And the reason why I say 70 grand is because it's probably one of the um, many versions of the R34 Skyline. Now you got the V-Spec, V-Spec 2, V-Spec 2 and 1, V-Spec NER, V-Spec 2 NER, M-Spec, and Spec NER. There's a lot of stuff that goes around with those specific Skylines, and that also includes the Nismo editions. So judging by the, judging by the, not the rating, judging by the cost of the car, I have to guess it's probably a regular Nissan Skyline R34. Actually, it is a Nissan R34 GTR, but the Skyline nonetheless. So, so for the sake of like simplicity, I'm actually going. I'm gonna say that he picked up the 240 for his replacement vehicle, and he actually drove, and the player actually drove to the garage where Rachel actually takes you, and you win a couple of races, you end up ricing your vehicle out, and yes, that was a thing. Now, I'm not going to explain the entirety of the story. You probably have to watch a let's play of the game to actually figure out the story behind it. But yeah, let me tell you about what kind of vehicles that you're dealing with. The vehicles actually expanded from 20 to over 30 vehicles in the last game. Even though some of the cars are not in the that are in the last game are not there. For example, the Integra, the Lancer ES, the Bug-Eye STI, as well as what's that called? Honda S2000.
That's the last checkpoint. The finish line is right ahead to win the stage.
But trust me, it is. But for many of the cars we lost, we gained a lot more vehicles. For example, we have given 2 muscle cars in the lineup. So, was I wondering what that be? That'll be the Pontiac GTO and the Ford Mustang. Yeah, Ford Mustang. To be specific, the SN97 model. And for those wondering, wait, SN97 model? Don't those came out 2005? Yes and no. The concept car came out in 2004. It's 2005 that they actually full on released. Ooh, I actually like the helmet, but still. Let's see. Um, let's see. Wait, I am in Miami, which... Huh, actually, that's perfect. Let's see if I can actually find Texas. Texas. Big land, going to Vegas. Ay, ay, ay. Remember, Dongo, he's East Texas. Okay. Boneyard takes 2 rally. Oh, okay. Big land. Wait, big land. Speed trap. Speed run. Ay, ay. Looks like I'm looking for Dallas. St. George. That's Las Vegas. That's Santa Fe. So that means, okay, there's Dallas. Okay. So I mean actually, um, set waypoint. All right. So overall, the the cars is actually not that bad. We have a couple of more stuff they added. Like we finally got a Lancer Evo, not the regular Lancer. We got a Blob Eye instead of a Bug Eye, and well, as we got a 3000 GT, we got an Audi A3, we got an Audi TT, which those two almost fits with the tuner culture. We even got some SUVs, which, for those wondering why SUVs in the game, is because of two things. One, the culture behind it, and two, the magazine. For those who do not know, the magazine is legit the only reason why the SUVs are getting famous for basically having cars with giant rims and as well as being very customizable in their own way. Okay, there we go. Alright. Yeah, in terms of customization, dear God, there are so much customization in Need for Speed Underground 2. And I am not kidding when I say this. You can legit do anything to the car, ranging from changing your headlights, changing bumpers, putting a white bike kit on, changing the way that your hood opens, changing the way your doors open, spinners, speakers, gauges. Oh my god, I haven't even touched the hydraulics yet. And oh my goodness, I am not kidding when I say this. You can have carbon fiber parts. Yeah, carbon fiber parts. The thing that a lot of people in real life actually will legit buy a certain vehicle just to have carbon fiber parts. Now there are downsides of these custom parts. It's just that it's kind of outdated, and by outdated I mean it's seriously outdated. I mean seriously, you look at show cars now, they're literally just what it's meant to be, for show. That's basically what it is. Um, but yeah, nonetheless, it's actually nonetheless, it's pretty spot on what kind of people are literally trying their best to actually make their vehicles to show cars. In fact, the in fact the game was so big that they got real artists. Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say it's real artists to actually do um to actually do literally vinyls for the car specifically. In fact, it actually is labeled contest, and I am not joking when I say this, but I end up using most of most of the designs because I wasn't a big fan of well not well it's not that I was a big fan of the designs they have in the game. Like they could have easily just have those from the have those designs from the last game and then transfer it to the next game. But then again, you can recreate Rachel's 350Z with a couple of parts, and not to mention, I think the only difference is that you literally up it's literally you do is literally upgrading the car. That's all you're doing. Now, now in terms of the tuning aspect of the game, my God, I find okay. There's a reason why I like the tuning in this specific speed game, because unlike Pro Street, where basically it's a bunch of sliders, it is complicated, just the way I like it. And the reason why I like the way things are complicated for tuners and tuners in of itself is because one thing in particular is that in terms of the cars themselves, I'm pretty sure that they're going for a lot of people literally trying to go for the highest horsepower possible, which unfortunately that limits to around um, basically 5 to 600 horsepower, 700 if it's 700 if the car is not the car doesn't have a blown up engine at the time, and heck even be possible if it was 800, but and again, the sad part about that is that there is a rip-off version of Near Speed Underground, aka CRC Syndicate, that I kid you not have a better tuning system than Near Speed Underground 2, which is not gonna lie, it's quite sad. And then again, the game has a bit more of a budget than anything else. And not to mention they're working with fictional parts instead of real life parts. The only real life parts get is performance. That's basically it. So if you don't see Velside, you probably would know why. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a case of they give you multiple amounts of things and you just don't know what to do with it. In fact, I kid you not, I kind of told the story a lot. I remember when my house is getting renovated and I have a lot. And here's the thing, I ended up bringing the PS2 with me, right? And I had a case full of games, and I was playing the Underground 2, which actually should have me pass the time of what is usually happening. And I kid you not when I say this, but I ended up falling asleep. Yeah, that's right, Goddrifter, a Need for Speed game fanatic, ends up falling asleep on Need for Speed Underground 2. You wondering how confused I was? And I'm like, wait, I ended up falling asleep on a game I liked. Ay, ay, ay. Now, in terms of game modes, it is by far the most diverse. Like, you got like knockout, you got circuit, you got sprint, you got drifting, which takes place in a whole new level. Like, there are two versions. There's circuit drifting and then there's city drifting. And I like City Drifting more is because it reminds me a lot of Initial D. There's also there's also a thing I like about the game is the fact that you can legit earn parts just by facing off um, against AI opponents. And heck, even drag racing is back and is better than ever. Um, and yeah, no longer that you have to dread for having a lot of stuff being done to the vehicle, but at the same time, actually, does kind of make no sense at all. But what do I know? It's pretty much a case of they give you stuff and you have to go with the flow. Wait, great. So I literally went from Miami to Detroit without taking without fast traveling. Oh my god. Alright, so I'm in Dallas, Texas. Uh, well then, let's see here. Alright. So I'm in Dallas, and now I need to head to Detroit, which that in of itself is a really, really that's a long trip and a half. Oh, great. Right. 26. Okay, 26 miles is not bad. I just need to grab a comfortable car for me to actually drive in without any problems. Alright. Let's see. Well, I'm actually gonna pick it's. You know what? Why not? I actually wanted to drive the Corvette for once. Not the C8, nor the C3 or C2, but haven't. I didn't get the C6 much love, so this is this is the moment where the C6 gets some love in the crew too, because it keeps getting some love in CarX. And why not going from Dallas to Detroit in a all-American car that looks like it came out of a midnight show? So again, not gonna lie, that didn't make any sense at all. Now, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Um. So. So yeah, if you want to actually make a lot of money in terms of actually doing a bunch of stuff in the game, you have to do what most people will do, and that's go into the URL, or aka the Underground Racing League. And these type of races are legit. So yeah, these type of races are pretty legit for what it is. It is a circuit race that is kind of like a street race, but it takes place in the circuit, and actually gives us plenty of opportunity to actually show off our skills on the track. instead of on the streets. Along with that, you also get a lot of um, opportunities to do some sort of time trial, and these time trials going from point A to point B, and if you end up winning, and if you end up beating the time, you actually get a chance to actually be featured in the next. Um, if you end up being featured in the next featured in the next issue for the magazine. And not to mention, it actually is pretty. And not to mention, it actually is pretty cool that they actually have. And not to mention, uh, there are there are parts in the game that actually give you a chance to actually open up your vehicle. But unfortunately, it's it works like this. It actually puts you in a specific angle of your car. And not to mention, it's actually fixed on a specific part of the vehicle. And for those wondering what that is, basically it shows off your hood and your truck. That's basically about it. Everything else is you have custom doors. You can actually open them. If you have a hood, you can open it regularly, or if you have like a custom, yeah, if you have like a custom hood, then you can and it opens differently. Go right ahead. Um, Same thing with a lot of so basically it's kind of the same thing with most vehicles in game. Um, also in terms of the SUVs, they actually have their own type of races known as SUV races, which they're kind of like it's kind of like your typical races, but instead of a bunch of cars, is a bunch of SUVs. And there are three specific SUVs you should know about. Um, you have the Hummer H2, which actually is not recommended due to the fact that this truck effectively and literally is a boat. And I kid you not, I'm not kidding when I say that. Like that Hummer is literally too much to handle. In fact, it is by far the slowest of the trio. Up next is the Navigator, which that's what my brother used in Need to Be Underground 2. And then there's the Cala Escalade, which that's what I use in the SUV races, which, in my opinion, is not that bad. But anyways, all three of them actually had their very own version of a specific V8. Now, the Hummer and Escalade actually had they have a Vortex motor, which ranges from a 4.8 to a 5.7, and then you got what's that called? I do believe. Okay, so if I remember correctly, the Navigator probably has one of the two engines. You either have the Mondeo V8, which is a 4.6, or you got the Triumph V8, which is probably a 5.2. Let me know down below on which one it is, because I don't know, to be completely honest. Alright, so in terms of story, I gotta give that mess an A plus. Basically, it puts you in the seat, and I do like how how most of the stuff, like most of the story, is in a comic book strip type of format. Now, keep in mind, the game was released 6 months after Need to Be Underground. So um, yeah, nonetheless, it's actually um, okay, return here. Alright, so it's, for the most part, it's not a bad thing to do. It's just that the majority of it is really interesting to say the least. And also, if you have, let's see, also, if you had Rachel Teller as your childhood crush, I don't blame you. You probably played Needs to Be Underground or watched one of the movies that featured her. And yeah, actually, it was pretty doggone amazing. Now, in terms of the car list, I gotta give that a A. So I'm gonna give it a solid A due to the fact that it has a lot of variety. Even though there aren't any supercars in the game, um, you got some JDM icons like the Supra RX-7 and the Skyline. You got some European legend. You got some European legends like the Golf GTI, or I say a Golf Fighter A2, a Audi A3, as well as I do believe there's also a Peugeot 206. Um, to even some American-made products like the Escalade, the Hummer, the Mustang, and many more. Like there are literally a variety of cars that most, if not any other Need for Speed games, can actually compare. Now, yeah, I know the DC Most Wanted. There's Carbon, Hell Street, Undercover, Shift, Nitro, and Nitro, Hot Pursuit 2010, The Run, Shift 2, was only 2012, Rivals, 2015, Payback and Heat. Basically, this is one of those cases where even though the car didn't feature any supercars, uh, this is what I recommend. Go to Grand Theft Auto and oh yeah, make sure you go to Grand Theft Auto for like the cut vehicles that they have in the game, and heck, there are even some new cars that they added to the game. For example, you got the Mazda RX-8, which although it came out in 2003, it was a concept car in 2002. And then, oh boy, the Mustang. Oh boy, the Mustang. For those who do not know why the Mustang was important, it's because keep in mind, the 2004 model was the last year of the SN95 product, which in turn give way to the SN97 model. And then the Pontiac GTO, oh man, you will not believe me when I say this. That car legit came out in 2004. Same thing with the same with the WX STI, the Evo 8. Although Evo 8 and Blob STI came out around 2003, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, game modes. My God, I gotta give that a S plus, and yes, an S plus, because this is by far the most stuff I ever encountered. Customization, triple S plus for basically having like, oh my god, you know how hard it is to actually capture people's imagination in terms of the vehicles themselves? That is saying something. In fact, it actually sets an example on how many people actually like going going to car shows just to see these cars. Like, it's not that difficult. But anyway, in terms of the race modes, that's a double S plus. I do like the variety of just cars, and there's even some drag cars, because there's some drag racing that you can do either on the highway or on the track. And not to mention the underground racing leagues. It's the first time that any Need for Speed game that's not from the PS3 era have more than 3 opponents. You're racing 5, and you're on the list of vehicles. Now this vehicles, yeah, and basically you're number 6. So not literally. Wait, no, actually, not 6. There are 8 people. Actually, there are 7 people you're racing, and you is included. So that's 8 people. That's a lot of people, unless it's 6. Let me know comment down below, because I don't remember. I don't remember everything from Underground 2. Um, and last but certainly not least, we got the overall score. So, Need for Speed Underground 2, a game that came out in 2004 that sold 10 million copies, gets a double S plus rating. Now, bear in mind that I have played the game twice. And by twice, I meant I played the game twice. I played it when my brother wasn't married at the time, and he actually gave me a couple of cars for me to customize. And I ended up playing the game later when I'm played a couple of years later when I was shopping for any games for the PS2. Keep in mind, it is a $20 game, which kind of shocking if you think about it. Like, that's a full price. That's the price of a full size game from the early to mid 2000s. Because who knows what could possibly happen. I miss those days. Why can't we go back to the days of having no problems but paying like $20 to $30 on a game instead of paying 50 to $60 games that gives us literally half a completed game. So yeah, that'll be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you see next. You can follow me on Instagram at Goddrifter247sun Production. You can follow me on Twitter at G27S. You can check out my Discord at Goddrifter247sun Production Garage Museum. And last but certainly not least, be sure to actually check out my Twitch at G27S in case my YouTube doesn't work. Also, if you if you leave if you share my live streams for any game like the Crew 2, Car X, or Gran Turismo, the algorithm will literally extend extremely high. And last but certainly not least, make sure to hit the bell notification to be notified of any videos and live streams. Anyway, that'll be it for now. Hope you guys have a dope Tuesday. This is Goddrifter signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.